Welcome everybody to Illuminating Life Official. My name is Kristen Kozad, and today I'm here with my guest, Kate Gomes, someone who I have gotten to know this year in a pretty tight-knit networking group and have just come to love this girl and to see that she's just creating this very adventurous life, and she is in some ways flying by the seat of her pants, which I love, and going for opportunities, which I love.
Yeah.
And so we'll be talking about all of that today, but I would like to welcome you, Kate, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Kristen. I'm so excited to talk to you today. We've had a lot of great conversations in the past, and
Yes. And a
it's always
lot
so
of,
fun.
there's so much synergy because I think we both are kind of love the travel and the adventurous part and
Yeah,
being a life, sort of a business around the lifestyle that we want to live. So,
yes,
you give me
absolutely.
some background about, first of all, the fact that you're not in a recording studio, but it kind of looks like it might be there. Can you tell people you're not a DJ? In
What's
fact,
that?
can you tell people you're in fact not a DJ?
No,
Explain where you're calling in from and
I yeah, I am not in a recording studio, not a DJ. I'm actually in the exact opposite of a recording studio. It's a terrible place to do recordings, but it's what I have. This is my camper van. I've been traveling around. I just went and picked this up in California and drove it out to Florida. So I've been doing recordings in here, and sometimes you might hear um, airplanes take off or rocket ships take off because I'm on the Space Coast out here in Florida. But yeah, so what you see behind are all the controls on my camper van house.
I love it. So
Yeah,
how was that trip across the country? I mean,
it
is this your
it
first time having done that?
yeah, it was my first time doing that, and I have wanted to do it for a really, really long time. And I would love to do it again, but much, much slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so much to see and so much to do. And part of this trip was just that I wanted to get my camper van out here, and during my trip, I stopped in Arizona to do the Deal Maker event with Pace. And once he agreed to fund my fix and flips, I decided just to jet back to Florida. So I didn't take much time after
See ya. Can you explain for people that don't know what Deal Maker is, what that event was and kind of that's part of the thing I was talking about was
that.
somebody who's just willing to jump in and take the risk before you're
Yeah,
ready. I think that
yeah.
that takes a really special person who believes in themselves. So I'm just
Oh,
curious,
thank you.
can you explain kind
Yeah,
of what that is for people and
yeah,
what that was
yeah.
like, the decision to do it?
Oh, sure. The decision to do it was super easy. That the moment I heard about it, I knew that I wanted to do it and be on there. Dealmaker. So Pace Morby is the leader of our net. I don't know what you call it, a networking group, but so he put on an event with Matt Sorensen where some of us they chose 6 people in our group to go live to his studio in Arizona to pitch a deal to them to look for funding. So I had been wanting to get in a fix and flips, and so I didn't actually have a deal because fix and flips, the deals come and go quickly. So I couldn't prepare for one specific deal. So I went to pitch just for recurring funding so that I could start looking for deals. And yeah, just as soon as I heard it, I knew I wanted to do it partly because of the funding, partly because it was challenging. And it's kind of a fear that I wanted to be able to overcome, to be able to speak in front of people, and also just kind of to get myself in line and have to do a presentation, right? Like to have to know what numbers I'm going for, and just to be able to map it all out and present it to somebody is it's a skill that's so important to being a real estate investor. And I wanted to put myself to the test. So
That's
I did
incredible.
it.
You did that. You
Yeah.
did. And you had
Yeah.
a great outcome.
I did. Yeah. Pace agreed to fund my fix and flip. So I've been talking to his team, and I'm out here in Florida looking for deals every day. So hopefully I'll get one real soon here.
We were talking about how challenging it can be to get a project where you feel like, I have someone sending multiple per day, but it doesn't mean
Yeah.
that it's the deal that you're looking for. So, and they
Right.
go
And
quickly.
They do. The good ones go
Yeah.
quickly, and I think it's very important to train the people who are looking for you because well, one thing I found out here is there's a lot of wholesalers that do direct to agent.
Mm,
So they're tying up these houses that are on the market at a price, not even knowing really if that price is going to work for
mm,
anybody on the other end, the buyers. So I'm looking at their deals. I'm like, no, that's not a good enough price. Like, why are you tying this up for people to buy when you don't even have a buyer that's going to pay that price? It drives me crazy. But
yeah.
anyways,
That's a
yeah,
good
it's difficult.
for wholesalers too. So, well,
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah.
you're looking for your fix and flips and you want that
Yep.
to be your strategy. What are you most excited about with that?
I'm excited to get my hands on the house and get creative with it. Out here where I am, there's a lot of houses from the 50s and 60s and 70s that there's so many of them that need remodeling, and I just love that style house. They're smaller, around 1,500 square feet, simple 3 bedroom, 2 bath, but they have such cute designs and cute, unique things about that era of homes. And and I'm just excited to modernize them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really great. Well, what has been one of some of your biggest learnings then since how long have you been an entrepreneur? And what are some of the bigger, what are some of the lessons that will help you as you're looking for these projects and getting into these projects? What kinds of things
Yeah.
are what kind of knowledge are you going to pull from that you've learned through your process of being
So
in
I,
this entrepreneurship?
yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur on and off probably since my 20s, just doing various things. And then I was a realtor for about 7 years, and that experience really, really helped me. I think I really understand houses, the construction, what can go wrong because I have um, managed a fair amount of renovations, and I did remodel my own house too, and I really just dug in on that one and did a lot of the work myself just with YouTube. I learned how to tile the shower wall,
Mm.
so that was an experience. And I managed the crew. I didn't have a contractor, so I just managed people to do the work for me. So I really understand the whole process from my experience as a realtor,
Yeah.
and the reselling too. I understand what sells and why they sell, and how to comp the ARV, the after repair value. Yeah.
No, just determining who wants what and, when you're going into a
Yeah.
deal, going, is this something people are going to want? And where is the value
Right.
after the fact that I put all this work and effort and money into this?
Yeah, yeah, because often like there's so many variables that go into it. Like you could find a house that the numbers look great that you're buying it at and the ARV looks great, but maybe you don't look at the days on market, and maybe this neighborhood takes like 3 to 6 months to sell. Well, that's not something I want to do. I want something that's gonna just sell right away so you don't have all the holding costs. And
Like,
yeah, so.
well, good. And what are you going to do with all the money you make?
That was an interesting question. I've been actually thinking a lot about that lately
Do you ever
because,
dream about how you're going to spend it? And
yeah, I think my theme over the next few years is to not spend a lot. When I was a realtor, I made a fair amount of money, but I was also very busy and didn't understand money management. And so I spent a lot of it. And this time around, I've learned a lot about creating multiple streams of income. So I just want to keep reinvesting it into businesses, into larger projects. Yeah,
incredible. So
yeah,
what is your bigger vision for your business then? What are you going to be? Do you have, we are doing a project within our community called your Mount Everest. So
yeah,
I'm curious what your Mount Everest is and what you'll be investing in.
yeah. It's constantly my Mount Everest has been in flux, but it's always had the same underlying theme um, of acquiring real estate and acquiring businesses. So I have a lot of different passions that don't necessarily seem like a very easy way to make money, but I also want to incorporate them, right? So, like farming is something I'm very passionate about, something I've never done, but something I've always wanted to do. And that sort of ties in with land ownership as well. So, um, I would love to incorporate buying land and incorporate that with housing and farming in some way. Um,
What does
buying
that
business.
what does
I'm
that
sorry,
look
what?
like? In your vision, what does that look like?
It looks like having communities where people can live in maybe tiny homes. Maybe there's some people who live there full time. Maybe there's some overnighters, who are vacationing or passing through. Maybe there's some people by the month. But having farming on the property also, so that there's like here in Florida, I just love all the tropical fruit. So you can grow so many things here. You can grow cacao, you can grow bananas, mangoes, dragon fruits, all the tropical stuff. And I'm just blown away at how like you can't find it in stores that much. There's not like nobody does it on a scale here, right? It's like people do it in their backyard. But
Mm,
I think it would be really cool to have bigger pieces of property where more people have access to that uh, food at reasonable prices. That's fresh food. That's not, the more I learn about our food supply, the more I don't want to eat it.
I know. It's
So
really sad.
yeah,
I did
yeah,
a holistic nutrition program
uh-huh,
back in, I think, 2007. And it really opened my eyes to what's going on in our country with
yeah,
food, the
hmm,
medical model and everything. It's really
yeah,
pretty disheartening to be able to
hmm,
go to another country and they protect that food. You know,
yeah,
I think that there
right,
is grassroots going on,
yeah, absolutely,
and I think that people want it, but right now it is just so expensive for people who can't afford it, unfortunately.
yeah,
But even
yeah,
educating people about farming and or gardening and how to do that for themselves,
yeah. And I think a lot of people still don't have the understanding or the awareness of how important what you eat is.
Yeah,
I mean, there's still so many people who just make very poor food choices and don't understand why they're sick.
yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
at least a part of it. One big aspect of being healthy is your
yeah,
food
the lack
supply.
of education, the addiction to that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, food is designed for addiction essentially. So
yeah. The
it's
sugar.
hard for people to see their way out, even if they do
Yeah,
know, it
yeah,
takes some effort.
yeah. So I'd
Yeah,
like to be a part of helping spread the word there,
that's
getting
in,
good food out there.
yeah, that's incredible. We deserve
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah, yeah. And I'm kind of a dreamer, so just throughout my day, like all these random ideas pop in my head. Like I was driving down a main street today with all these commercial buildings, and there's like a vacant lot. I'm like, oh well, that lot should have fruit trees. So, people in the neighborhood nearby can come, and there could be a little donation box if they want to drop something in to pay for their food, and just making it easy to get
Great
good
idea.
food. You know, yeah. There's tons of old buildings around here that need a use. They're just empty, dilapidated buildings. And I think so many good things could be done with those lots. So
Yeah.
that's part of it too. I'm getting I was a realtor in California, but being new in Florida, I'm working on getting my license here now. And I want to get involved in the commercial space too and just kind of help the area just improve. I think that it used to thrive more and then it saw some down years and now it's coming back, but there's still so many just dilapidated buildings and things that aren't in use that I look at them and see things I would love to do with them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's something, living in Colorado, I think that's something that they have done well. I notice even the smallest towns, you go through there and there is a really cute shops and
Yeah.
restaurants and coffee shops and things. Every town, even the smaller towns like Greeley and then all of the mountain towns, they each have their own really unique center of town
Hmm. Yeah.
where it's kept up and it's
Yeah.
it's they're such sweet little areas. Even the suburbs,
Yeah.
I'm so
Oh
surprised.
yeah.
Colorado does that well. So
I'm
maybe
gonna
it's
have to come visit you.
a good model. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting because I've always been fascinated because it's not, there's mountain town after mountain town, and
Hmm.
they all are so different. They all
Oh,
have
really?
personality and vibe where one
Hmm.
looks like a Swiss village, one
Oh,
looks,
wow.
one looks like it was built in the 80s, but it's this super high end, amazing like shops and stuff. And
Okay.
yeah, and then there's like just the kind of the little more quaint areas. And yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Are you close to Denver or are you
I'm in
farther?
Denver.
You're in Denver, and so all the little surrounding towns of Denver is what you're talking about?
Yeah, and like I
Yeah.
said, in the suburbs,
Suburbs.
so
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. It's just such a thing here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna
It's-
you're gonna have to I'm gonna have to go and you'll give me a tour.
Yes, we'll go to all the little main streets. That'd be really cool. Yeah, I would
That'll
host
be
you anything.
fun.
So
Thank you.
yeah. Well, what's next on your agenda as far as, so we had talked before and you were going, you want to swim with, was it dolphin?
Wales? Oh,
Yeah,
Wales.
whale.
Yeah.
So you have some travel on so that's one big thing for you is the travel bug. And are you going to
Yeah.
be road tripping again? I know that you're looking for projects and things like that, but what does that part look like? And how do you, in this world where your work is going to be in Florida, how do you make sure you get to do that thing that you love so much?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that you just have to kind of make rules for yourself that are non-negotiables, and you just have to do it, and things will work out one way or another.
Yeah,
It's if it's important to you, you have to set the priorities and just do it. I learned a lesson when I was a realtor because realtors, most of them just run around like chickens with their head cut off, right? They're just busy 24/7. They're on the phone here, on the phone there. And then, while they're showing a house to somebody else. And I was part of a mentorship, and a woman who had been in there for a really long time and was one of the most successful agents in the Bay Area. She was so calm and composed and talked to us about how she just sets her rules. And for her, she had a family, so it was important to be there at lunch and be there at dinner. And when most agents can, never stick to that on a daily basis, she was every day. Like, and she put her phone down, and her clients respected that. And
yeah,
so I think that's part of it. And I think when you make those rules for yourself, you attract the people who respect that, and the people you can work with who can help you when you're gone, right?
yeah,
So um, I have contractors here that I'm building relationships with, and and they should be people that I trust and that I know when I'm away, they're going to do good work and they're going to communicate with me. And I don't have to be here because I'm not the one doing the painting. I'm not the one installing the cabinets, right? I'm managing it, and I can manage it from a distance with people I trust.
yeah. That trust piece is a big, big thing. So
Yeah. Mhm.
those are important relationships to have. I think,
Mhm.
within entrepreneurship, I think the relationships that we build and the intention that we have, or, the
Yeah.
boundaries that we have for ourselves, um, I think that keeps us above water, you know,
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
else. I think those two things are so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think back to the boundaries and priorities. I think a lot of people are scared that if they leave their work and um, that they're going to lose money and they're not going to be able to make it. And I feel like we're here not just to work our lives away, but to enjoy life and have fun. And if adventure is something that you like, to do it, and the rest will work out if you're also taking steps to, make to do the work and make your work out. It's
I,
kind of a funny way to say it, but do you know what I mean?
I do. And I
Yeah.
think that, so many people get into entrepreneurship, whether it's investing or any other number of things for having their own businesses because we want freedom. And
Yeah.
the rub is that sometimes it can just bury you and you could
Yeah.
spend all day, every day working, and your business
Yeah.
is kind of the core of your life instead of the other way around. And so
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that idea of being so intentional with creating a life and honoring the wanderlust or the sense of adventure or,
Mhm.
even nurturing the relationships in our lives. I think
Yeah.
that we have to make time for that or it will just,
Yeah.
you know, I there's a balance. It's almost like an ecosystem,
Yeah.
but there
Yep.
really is kind of a balance between all of it to keep it. You have to be good at a lot of different things
Yeah.
in order to
Yeah.
keep that life kind of humming and moving. So I think
Yeah.
it's really important that what you said that it's not going to happen if we don't choose it.
Right. Yeah. And what you said about balance is so true also because you can't just ignore the work part if you're not financially set up to do that. I mean, you can't just adventure and not work, right? You still have to make money, you have to eat, you have to have clothes, all those kind of things. You have to pay for the travel if that's what. So
Mhm.
you do have to find that balance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think has been the best advice that you ever got about business,
Wow.
being an entrepreneur?
That's a big question. I think the thing that comes to my mind, and maybe just because it's fresh and recent, um, but also because it's great advice, is to have multiple streams of income, right? We're most of us are taught growing up, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a career, get a job. You're not taught about investing and you're not taught about building wealth. And I think that is one of the single most important things we could learn, hopefully at a young age, is that it, having those multiple streams of his income and investing in things that build money rather than buying things that just suck money away from you is so key to building a life that you want.
And having that diversification. I was just yesterday watching a podcast and Tony Robbins was on it and he was talking about that financial book that he did. And he was saying the idea of having different pockets of skill or income, the importance of that is, the people that created, remember the GPS that would go in your car on your dashboard
Yeah. Hmm.
or whatever it was? He was saying, well, that was around for a few years. And then he holds up his phone and goes, and then here's your phone free of charge. You can do the same exact thing. And they had an amazing business.
Yeah.
So you don't know what kind of shifts and changes are going to happen in the market and
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
just a good way to protect yourself from,
Right.
it's just like different strategies within real estate investing, right?
Yeah.
Going to be strong
Abs
in one market and some are going to be strong in another. So I think
yeah.
that's really good advice. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, good. Well, this has been so fun to chat with you. I just think
Yeah.
of you and I'm so grateful that you could join me today. Is there
Yeah.
anything
Thanks for having.
to add?
Um, Nothing that comes to mind. It's just always such a pleasure to talk to you. And thanks for having me on.
Thank you. And thanks for watching today. Again, my name is Kristen Kozad, and this is Illuminating Life Official. And we are posting every week. So please, we would welcome anyone who wants to subscribe or leave a comment. Um, wish Kate well and safe travels for whatever's coming up for her. And thank you, and we will see you again next time.
Thanks, Kristen.